welcome back to my channel. So today is the 10th of September and it is Mental Health Awareness Day. And yes, I'm in an apron because I just finished baking an order for a client, because yes, I still actually do run the crumbs and treats thingy business, but just have not been accepting and receiving many orders, and so I sort of kind of just ignored it for some time, because also I just moved into an apartment 9 days ago. Yeah, I officially moved in 9-10 days ago, but I moved in on the 1st. How many days ago is that? I don't know, but yeah, I just moved in here. I have my very first apartment. Besides Reyes, I have my own apartment that I searched for, viewed on my own, picked, and officially moved in, which feels amazing, which feels like never, you guys. Like, I have a view of the beach, I have the view of the stadiums, which I pay for myself. I bought it with my own money, it's mine. Wild. And one of the things that I keep on looking at, I'm like, I'm actually living in some of my answered prayers, and it feels great. Manifestation worked, prayer worked, and would recommend it every day because I've seen it. Hard work, obviously, putting in the work, putting in the thought, and following on the thought and following on the movement of whatever it is works, and it pays, and I would highly recommend it. So be that as it may, I think I'm shouting because I'm now used to shouting because I've been shooting without the mic. I need to change the lights up here because they're quite yellow, and now the LED light is not really doing its job because, yeah, they didn't consider that there are people that do YouTube videos that move into apartments. But yeah, I'm going to fix that, and probably in my next video it will be fixed. Anyways, basically this is a life update and a reflection, so I don't have anything prepared. Reflection on being a mental health activist in the past few years, because when I first started documenting stuff, I started in 2018 with a blog where I think my first blog, yeah, I remember my very first blog was sex and law and the criminalization of it and the shame of it and how one can't really speak of it. I'll link the post below. It was my very first one, so it could be a bit sketchy. I might be afraid to share it here because one, I could have overshared. Two, I could have just had really bad grammar. So I might not, okay, I will share it because I've spoken about it. But when looking back, I didn't start this as a movement. Well, YouTube came later because it came in 2020 during the pandemic. Then I just did workouts as everyone did, and only started speaking on mental health maybe end of 2020 or sometime last year. I really can't remember, but that came in later, and that's where things started to take a shift, and I started now labeling myself as a mental health enthusiast. Is that the word? An activist. So what has that brought to me? It has brought a lot of reflection. It has also brought a lot of fear, because with mental health you actually share how your situations made you feel. Like, especially if you are now sharing. If I share how not being able to properly mourn the death of my father and not being able to even know he's sick until the very last week. I remember I saw him, it was the 24th of June, and he died on the 29th of June, 29th or 30th. I can't really remember the day, but I only learned on the 29th and on the 24th, and those are some of the things that if I come on this platform or on my blog, because that's where my blog is, where I share most of these things that I've been through, because it's harder to speak than to write for me. Some people it's easier to speak than to write, but for me, I speak more and it's easier that way. And yeah, so when I look back, when I speak of that, somebody who could have caused or could have had an influence on me not being able to mourn the death, not being able to communicate with my dad, could take offense that I'm sharing that. And that's what speaking about mental health has done. I share everything that affects my mind. Money affects my mind. School affects my mind. The more I could speak of how a particular school I went to affected my mental health, and the officials of that school could come here and say, or sue me or whatever for. So those are some of the things that have been negative in writing and speaking, because you affect relationships. Because I know there's a particular ex-shame that keeps bothering me whenever I write something. Like I use the word bothering deliberately because I know he might watch this. Whenever I put out something, he reflects on it and projects it on himself, when sometimes it's not even about him. He was not even in my mind when I was thinking, or sometimes he is, because people that you meet in the walk of life influence everything that you become, unfortunately. Could be as little as somebody who you met or had a relationship for 3 months that could affect the rest of your life. And how you become in somebody's story is honestly your own doing. If you hurt a person and they speak about you hurting them, you shouldn't then come to them and say, this is not how I think I should be portrayed. And I think that's very selfish. And it's actually very damaging on the mental health awareness and mental health journey, and coming back to a healthy mental health. I hope that makes sense, because you can't really come back to it if you can't really have these conversations. If we can't really have these conversations, we can't help people, we can't help ourselves even, because for me, to speak and to write about these things is always a relief. When I write a blog, my last blog, I wrote it and I didn't read it, but the moment that I said publish, it was a release. It was on, like when I write a blog, I usually just put points maybe 4 days before, and then everything comes back to me as I'm writing. It comes back to me. It comes maybe sometimes in waves of hurt, sometimes in wave of joy, because that blog in the end, I'll link it below as well, it speaks of how everything is coming together, and in the end it speaks of that. But it also, throughout, it mentions how everything fell apart and how they eventually came together. And I would carry those feelings and those waves for a few days before writing or while editing. And the moment I publish, the moment that I finish writing, it feels like a release. And to now then answer to a boyfriend feeling some type of ex-boyfriend feeling some type of way about how I wrote, to now answer to a relative feeling uncomfortable because I shared something, to a relative feeling guilty. I'm not here to serve your guilt. I'm not even thinking about you. Yes, I'm thinking about how I felt about how whatever that happened, but it's no longer about you. It's now about me and the trauma that it caused and how that ended up being. So those are the downs of mental health. And also mental health activism and speaking of it means that you might actually be approached with people in your close circle that would want to share things that they've never shared because they feel that you are able to accept and welcome because you speak of it so well. And that is a good feeling because you realize that, okay, I'm doing something, I'm helping something, maybe this is my purpose, but also it adds on, and the add-on could be heavy. I could be carrying a umuntu is being abused or has been abused, somebody that I've never even thought of, and that adds up. And those are some of the things that I look at and I'm like, this is hard about activism. This is hard about speaking about the issues. Rape and sexual assault were some of the things that I started speaking about. One of the things that I started writing about. I did that at a very young age, and many people in my circles, people that I never even imagined would come to me, speak to me about that, and I don't have all the answers, and that then weighs on my mental health. So yeah, I think so basically my message for mental health awareness, World Mental Health Awareness Day, is that give yourself grace if you are helping somebody, if you are speaking to somebody about issues such as mental health. Give yourself grace. One, you are not a superhero. Two, you deserve to feel heavy. You deserve to feel all of those feelings even after you've spoken about it. Some days I wake up feeling awesome. Other days, like yesterday, I could be off for the whole day and just cannot bring myself back. Maybe bring myself back later, but some days you get that. And as much as I speak about how the healing journey is, I don't know if I speak about that, I just speak about the traumas because I'm still on the journey, because I'm still now realizing, very often I'm realizing, oh, this was actually trauma, this was actually hurtful, this was actually something I didn't think about, but it actually hurt me. That's what's happening in my mind right now, and most of the time. And that's the unfortunate thing. I could be speaking about it the whole day, go on a platform, be invited to speak, and then the whole night I'll be twitching because my mind is not okay. I'm unable to function because it's painful. It's painful to function. It could be that. And I can't do anything about that until obviously I go for a professional help. I speak to somebody, I read a book, whatever it is that I do. I still need that help. I still need all of those things, even though I speak so boldly and speak so often about my sufferings and my journeys and coming back to self. So yeah, I just wanted to actually just update you guys that in as much as mental health and speaking about mental health fills and fuels most of my healing journey, I think I want to remind myself that I'm also in a healing journey. I shouldn't feel bad for sometimes feeling bad. Like as an activist, wherever you are, you shouldn't feel bad for feeling out of place. You shouldn't feel bad for not being, yeah, it's very echoey here because this house is quite empty. I'm going to have to get a rug very soon. I don't have a rug here, so I know that there's gonna be a lot of echo. So be mindful of that. What else? Lost my train of thought. So this is for everyone who might be feeling overwhelmed, especially today. It's days like this that you you get a reminder that it's Mental Health Awareness Day or World Mental Health Day, and you're feeling out of it, and you feel the urge to actually put out a post on how great you're feeling, and that's going to harm you. That's going to actually affect you. So I don't want this video to be too long. It's already long. If I'm going to insert the video of me showing you my outfit, it's going to be very long, but I think I will because I liked how I looked today. Anyways, yeah, with that said, thank you guys for watching this video, and yes, to new beginnings. I have a new place. I'm in a new city, as I mentioned, since last month, but I have now my own place. I love it. I feel grateful. Like I wake up every morning and I'm like, wild, I have my own place. Yeah, like no one's gonna say anything to me, it's mine, and it feels good to have that. And I'm going to speak about a lot of things from now, so expect more videos. And oh yeah, that's the lady that's picking up that I'm delivering cakes to. Anyways, yeah, we thank her for texting me because I was going to blab forever. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you in my next video. I don't want to announce when I'll post because y'all know that my schedule is just all over the place, and I don't want to speak of it and then don't do it. But there will be a second video this week. Anyways, I'll see you on my next video, and yeah, bye guys.